boy Let's Stay TV back with another epic banger. This is my channel, so you can't tell me what to post on my channel. And today's video on my channel is about the Star Wars sequel trilogy and what I do with it and my ideas. And we can share these ideas. If you want to make a Star Wars trilogy in your head or make some original characters, go ahead, man. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't do. And also, we live in an age of AI. Like, I got these ideas in my head, and then I went to ChatGPT to help me give sauce to these thoughts. And by sauce, I mean, like, just help on the things that I need more ideas with. Did it help? Not really, because it just helped my brain turn a little bit more. All the ideas is from me. But ChatGPT can make images for you. Like, I did do this. I said, make a picture of stormtroopers in the snow holding staffs, because I wanted to show, like, how the stormtroopers are very industrial. I wanted to, like, show the stormtroopers going back in nature and getting the ways of the forest and, like, some tribal ways. That was my idea. So, yeah, guys, if you're creative, you can make your own movies these days, bro. There's a YouTube channel called Star Wars Stories, which makes Star Wars clips about Darth Vader and Qui-Gon Jinn with AI. He makes full-on movies, like full-on short movies. They look live action, but they're AI making these things. I'm not doing all that because I have something called maladaptive daydreaming disorder, which is basically when you pace around and you make movies in your head. But even if it's a disorder, I can still get order out of this. Because I can be daydreaming and I get like a character in my head. And then I can draw that character, bringing my thoughts to reality. Or I can daydream and then I can put all of those thoughts into a song. So use your imagination right. Don't let it consume you. Because I've definitely let my imagination consume you. People thought I was crazy watching me pace around. They ain't know that I was making movies. They thought I was off of whatever. They thought I was tweaking, but I weren't. I was just making movies in my head. But let me tell y'all what I got so far. So, Star Wars 7, it takes place on Coruscant. Luke Skywalker is the Jedi Master type beat. And he's training 6 to 7 padawans. So, it's a human padawan. This is what I got so far. It's a girl padawan. Then there's a Ifranian Jedi. That's like the species that has the Force Battle ability, which is where they scream supersonic frequencies that destroys everything around them. And then there's the Mandalorian Jedi, based off Sabine from Star Wars Rebels. And then there's Grogu. I literally just took him from Mandalorian. Grogu is super cool. And I also want a Jedi Padawan that is a clone of Darth Plagueis. I think that'd be really cool for fans that be into the comic books and be into the lore. And it'll just be really interesting to see how people react to a Darth Plagueis clone Jedi. Also, a shapeshifter Padawan. That's a shapeshifter. And I feel like it could have some other additions, like maybe a Wookiee Padawan, but I feel like that has been done to death in the Star Wars franchise, or done to life. Like, they've done that a lot. They did it in the Clone Wars. They did it in the Old Republic. I bet you they're going to have a Force-sensitive Wookiee in the new arcs in Star Wars. I don't pay attention no more. Ever since Season 2 of The Mandalorian, in the Book of Boba, I stopped paying attention. Because it's just watered down to me. It's just watered down. You know none of the characters gonna die. You know there's gonna be nothing. Star Wars ain't autistic no more. Like, I hate to say it. I'm autistic, guys. I have a lot of things. But I'm autistic, so I can say that. And when I say autistic, I mean creative, visionary, out of this world. And I know people get mad when people, like, put autism and creativity. Like, if you're autistic, you're creative. That's not true. But if you're autistic, your brain is wired differently. Like mine. Like, I literally got autism. Sure, it's never been diagnosed. But, bro, I was literally 2 years old and the teacher was saying that kid got autism. But my grandmother, being traditional, was like, oh, that's not She basically she's very like, if you ain't dumb, you don't got autism. If you ain't, you heard me? They had to give her papers till she thought my brother had ADHD. The reason I never got papers is because I could always do what I had to do. I could be daydreaming, but just still get just enough good grades to not get medicine. And fuck the pharmaceuticals. Fuck everybody that be giving kids medicine. I can't wait until you die, because you is gonna die. It's a new world. It's 2025. The shift is here. And if you pushing death to people, death is coming right back to you. That's the era of life we in right now. But back to the subject of Star Wars. And I started talking about autism. That's really bad. Not bad, but it's about to be Star Wars. Okay, I was gonna get back to the thing. Fuck pharmaceutical companies. Y'all tried to give me medicine when I was 12. Y'all gave my brother medicine while he was a little kid. I got him off that shit. And he got himself off that shit. Fuck y'all dumb bitches. Kids don't need to be taking 5 ants. And I could have sold that for a 5 ants. But I'm a good person. And I love my people too much. So I didn't sell 5 ants for a 5 ants. I didn't sell 5 ants for 5 ants. And that's a bar. Y'all can use that. But back to Star Wars. So Luke is training the Jedi. We'll just throw a... You know what? We're going to throw... It's not a Wappa. It's a Wappa, right? Ain't Wappas the snow beasts that Luke cut one of their arms off in the Empire Strikes Back? Yeah, a Yappa. And there's a Yappa Jedi. Why? Because they do Wookiees to death. And Yappas don't get enough love in Star Wars lore. So, all of them are training, and this is the first time they met each other, and they're hard-headed, and they kind of don't get along, but as the movies go on, they become a family. And Ahsoka is also there. She's like the second in command. Luke is the leader. He's teaching everybody things, and Ahsoka is the second in command. And Luke has his own arc, Ahsoka has her own arc, but the trilogy is really about the padawans, because they're the new generation. They're a family of 4 sensitive people that are going to help each other out to rebuild the Jedi Order. And this is another idea I had. If you watch the prequels, the Jedi were hypocrites. All of them were killers. All of them had bodies. All of them put people under. And all of them kind of broke the laws of their own council. Like Obi-Wan, this is kind of Clone Wars, but Obi-Wan was always telling Anakin he can't mess with Padme. But then Obi-Wan had that one girl that was like a president, and he loved her, and she loved him too. And Obi-Wan's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Obi-Wan. I think it was messed up for him to leave Anakin in the lava planet. Like, I get it that Anakin killed some younglings, and that's fucked up. But if my brother became a Sith due to loving somebody, and due to fear of their death, and due to being so idealistic, you can see the flaws in a system that you want to change, I wouldn't leave my brother to die. I'd use the Force. I'd pick him up. I don't know what the hell you on, brother, but we gonna fix it. And whatever you done, we gonna undo it. And that's how it be. And if Obi-Wan did that, they'd be no Darth Vader, because Anakin wouldn't be burnt to death. And Anakin would probably take a step back and say, man, I really done killed people I love. Sure, the Jedi ain't perfect, but the Sith is far from perfect. But yeah, man, I love Obi. I just wished the Obi-Wan Kenobi show fleshed him out a little bit more. I didn't watch that lame show. It looked lame. It looked like all the backgrounds were lame. It looked like all the characters were lame. It looked like the 5,000th Equivator was lame. I thought the Inquisitor was lame, Reva. We've had 1,000 Inquisitors by now. Just give us something new, man. That's all we want. But I thought the only cool part, there's 2 cool parts to the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and I'm mad they ain't put them all in it. Y'all need to get us fans for Star Wars media. Stop thinking y'all know what we want. But this is the only cool parts. The cool part was when Obi-Wan Kenobi was on a planet and he saw a clone trooper and he put money in his hat, in his helmet, and a clone trooper knew it was Kenobi, and they had a meeting of regret and love, and he gave the clone money. And when Darth Vader and Obi was in a fight, man, I got burp. Why do I always got burp? Man, I ruined this whole video. But that was a cool part. And when Obi-Wan sliced Darth Vader's mask in half. They did take that from Star Wars Rebels. Whatever, guys. Whatever. Which is also why I feel like they should have a plan before they do Star Wars. Like, Disney bought Star Wars and said, everybody go wild. So now there's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of reincarnating story arcs. And everybody's trying to do something before somebody else does. Because there's no order in Star Wars no more. They just bought Star Wars and told everybody to go crazy. And that's what everybody did. But not crazy in a good way. Crazy in the, guys, you're ruining Star Wars way. But all right, back to my stuff. So Luke feels a presence somewhere, and he goes to the different planet to explore. And Ahsoka probably goes with him because they feel this presence, and that also showed the Jedi. And they go to a Sith temple, and they realize the holocrons was stolen. And I do think they need to meet the Sith at a snowplanet, because I think that'd be a really cool lightsaber battle. And this Sith is not the main Sith of the trilogy, but he gotta be really cool. My Star Wars characters gotta be cool. If you go back to the original in the prequel trilogy, all the characters were cool looking. Like, you'd want to know these people. Like, you'd want to know Darth Maul and General Grievous and Count Dooku and Mace Windu and all the Jedi, because all of them just look so cool. They look just awesome. And the sequel trilogy, the characters don't look awesome. They look lame and bland and dry. And if I made the sequels, it would be creative juices everywhere, and every single kid in the world would want an action figure of my characters because they're so cool looking. They're just awesome, guys. They're just awesome. You gotta be, you gotta make your character look awesome. Like General Grievous, that's an awesome looking character. Like Darth Maul, that's an awesome looking character. You gotta have your character look awesome. But my character's gonna be awesome, and they gonna fight the awesome Sith Lord. I want my Sith Lords to be different. Like the main Sith, he ain't gonna be interested in political power like most villains in Star Wars is. This guy just wants to sever the connection to the Force and the living. Like, he wants to destroy the Force type beat. And this is like his apprentice. And really all the apprentice wants to do is make himself known or something, because he's selfish. And he's just a pawn in the bigger Sith's plan anyways, because that's usually how Star Wars goes. So he runs up, he has a double-bladed lightsaber, because I feel like the fans would think that's cool. Actually, no, we done double-bladed lightsabers too much, and one of the younglings are going to have a double-bladed lightsaber. So let's not do that too much. He has a normal red lightsaber, but he runs at Luke. Okay, so this is the other thing. So he meets the Sith at a village, right? And the Sith is about to do evil things. But Luke is like, hey, I don't want to hurt these guys' village. We're too powerful. Let's go in the woods. And the Sith agrees. So Luke and the Sith go in the forest. And Ahsoka is there, and she allows them to duel. So Ahsoka's right here, and Luke and the Sith is right there. And they both ignite their lightsabers. And Ahsoka's like, may the best Force user win. May the Force be with you too. And then when they start like having a cool lightsaber fight, like really good shots, really good symbolism. And it'd also be cool if one of them dropped their lightsabers and they start fighting with the Force. I think that'd be a really interesting idea. But Luke ends up getting the overhand because it's Luke. You really thought Luke was gonna lose in the first movie? Get real. So Luke beats dude, and he got like him at the blade of the saber, and he's like, "Get out of here." And then the Sith is like, "You foolish Jedi." And Luke is like, "Why are you laughing?" And he's like, "You might want to check on the padawans." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I framed him." Because back on Coruscant, there is a group of supervillains. I know. You're like, why are you putting supervillains in Star Wars? I think the Padawan should want to be heroes. And yes, I am inspired by the superhero arc on Dragon Ball. I like that Gohan wanted to be a superhero. I'm a nerd for superhero stuff. So they want to be superheroes. They don't need to have capes. But, like, they could be watching, like, a hologram of a superhero character. Like, do a Star Wars take on superheroes. And they want to be superheroes. And they see some super villains with, once again, complex, cool designs. And the super villains gotta be cool, threatening, and funny. And let's say the super villains are like raiding a clone factory, just doing villainous stuff. They gotta be villainous. So our heroes fight the villains, and they're getting framed. In the people is looking at them like, why would the Padawans do this? And then Luke and Ahsoka come back. They save the day. They clear the Padawans' names. And yeah, that's basically the idea for the first movie. Help me out with any ideas. On the supervillains, they just gotta look cool, guys, and maybe mirror the Padawans. Like, there's a clone Padawan that's a clone of Darth Plagueis. Maybe one of the supervillains are based off the Mauler twins from Invincible, and like they're just clone geniuses, and they are really good at cloning people. And maybe like one of them supervillains is like a dinosaur dude that's like a humanoid dinosaur. You know, guys, help me out here, guys. I want this to be cool. And that's not even number 8 or 9. And then number 8 or 9, that's when it gets real type stuff. That's when the main villain has to sever the force from the living. And that's where a lot of the battles come in. I also think there's a lot to explore. Like, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think the Jedi Order would want an army. Like, the only reason the original Jedi Order needed army was because of the Separatist War. They didn't want an army. And the only reason the Empire had an army is because they're the Empire. Nobody likes them because they do evil things. The only way for them to get people to listen is to send out, like, people to force. Because they don't got no love. They need to force people to accept. As far as the new Jedi Order, they're not like that. So they only need to send one Jedi to get people to overstand because they're not evil. You know, each Jedi is like a million stormtroopers. But yeah, 8, I think that should be really cool. Like, the supervillains are basically done. Maybe the supervillains help. And the Padawans grow closer and it starts flesh out their arcs. In this movie, somebody should die. Rather that be General Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca. Not Luke. Not Luke. Luke gotta sacrifice himself in the final movie on Star Wars 9. And I also don't want Luke to take a single life. Because Luke gotta have flaws. Luke gotta have a serious arc that he deals with all 3 movies. But at the same time, I don't want Luke to be a killer. Because he was a killer in Return of the Jedi. He did murk Jabba the Hutt's guards. And he probably murked a few stormtroopers too. But we ain't having Luke doing no murder. He had to do that. That's when he was a dark Jedi. And I don't care what nobody says. He was a dark Jedi in Return of the Jedi. He was a dark Jedi. He was dressed like a dark Jedi. I mean, I got all black on. So am I a dark Jedi? Nah, I'm a light Jedi. But it ain't because what he was wearing. It was because he was murking people. He murked Jabba's guards. He probably murked a few stormtroopers. It don't make him, I don't know. But yeah. I don't want Luke to kill nobody in this trilogy. Maybe the Padawans do. I don't know. And Star Wars 9, Luke gotta sacrifice himself. And yeah. Also, Ahsoka got 2 white lightsabers. Anakin still got his good old-fashioned green one from the, whatchamacallit. He actually got his green lightsaber and his blue lightsaber. But he mainly uses his green one. But he pulls the blue one out every once in a while. And the Padawans have lightsabers in the original movie. And it's like green lightsabers, blue lightsabers. And there's a pink lightsaber, right? But they somehow lose their lightsabers. And at the end of the movie, they find Emperor Palpatine's lightsabers. And that's how they fight. They end up meditating, like going peaceful mode. And I want there to be a lot of explosions and blasts and lasers. And it'll show like how even in a chaotic situation, they found peace. And they use that peace to go in slow motion and to fight all the bad guys. But they also got to find Emperor Palpatine's lightsabers. And I think that'd be really cool. In Star Wars The Clone Wars, Darth Palpatine slices up Darth Maul's brother, and it says, "This will make a great addition to my collection." So I want them to find a bunch of lightsabers, and that could be from people that Palpatine crushed or hurt. And I can just imagine, like, when the Jedi's pick up Savage's double-bladed lightsaber, and there's a flashback of Darth Maul and Savage, and the saber being created, and Maul and Savage being slammed through the window, and maybe one of them find Count Dooku's saber, and and I think it'd be really cool. I know people say the Force doesn't work like that, like they're Han Solo, but wouldn't it be cool if when they're fighting, the red lightsabers start turning like blue and purple, and Luke is like, "You can't unbleed a crystal," because a red lightsaber is saber crystals that got blooded, that got hurt and injured by a Sith. And because of the injury, the saber turns red to show it's unbalanced or in pain. What if this the Jedi being Jedi, the sabers start to turn their original colors, and Luke is like, "I've never seen a crystal get unblooded before. I've never seen a crystal turn normal." And it's like, well, that's the power of love. That's the power of doing right. And Luke's like, "This is incredible. I've learned something new about the Force." And that's how the first one ends. And then you got 2 more to go. But that might be a separate video. Peace out, guys. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video.